Okay, guys, this should be pretty freaking interesting. This is from Tap Out Corner, and it's 10 wrestlers who went off script during matches. That happens all the time. Um, I less so. I would well, I shouldn't say less so, but more under a microscope if you're working for WWE or one of the biggies, obviously, because they have writers writing that for you, and if you go too far off script, you can get in trouble with the higher ups. In the indies, of course, it happens all the time because a lot of times the script is very loosely wrapped anyway. But what I've noticed, at least in my years, you're more likely to go off script or off plan if you're working with somebody you really know well and are comfortable with. It just makes it easy. It's like, because a lot of times it's just like, it's like doing stand up. I did stand up for years. And you'll be in the flow of something and something funny comes to you, or you're working off the crowd and some funny things happen and you go with it. Same thing happens in a wrestling match. You'll be going along doing what you planned on doing, and then the two of you, or even one of you, are like, hey, it'd work well here, and you just take a detour. But it'll be interesting to see how many of these off scripts were things that worked or things that might have gotten some ire from the front
WWE
office.
and all of pro wrestling is scripted, but unlike movies and
Nuh-uh.
TV shows, wrestlers have only one take to get it right. However,
Yeah.
sometimes
Hey, no.
things do not go as planned, and wrestlers are forced to go off script.
Oh, okay. So now that's an entirely different thing. So, right. Okay, I didn't know what he was talking about. Sometimes, again, as just like you're going to see here, injuries force you to go off script. I thought this was willingly going off script, taking a new direction.
Other times, a wrestler gets so mad with how they're
Okay,
being
there we
used
go.
that they purposely go against what they are told to do.
Sure. All right, this will be fun.
Now, this is how the pros handle a bad
That was
situation in the ring. In November 2012,
So I'm thinking that off script, something was off there because that was a complete no sell of a big finish.
Now, this is how the pros
Okay.
handle a bad situation in the ring. In November 2012, Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow fought the WWE Tag Team Champions, Kane and Daniel Bryan.
I don't know
While
anything about
Cody
this
and Kane
story.
were the legal men, the Big Red Machine gave the future American Nightmare a back body drop.
Oh, he
Cody
didn't
ended
get
up
over.
landing incorrectly, causing him to suffer concussion and a separated
Oh,
shoulder.
shit.
Kane, Bryan, and Sandow all realized that having
Oh, that was terrible. Let's watch it. It looks like Cody just didn't get rotation. I think Kane pushed his legs up and over, didn't he?
The future American Nightmare a back
Yeah,
body drop.
Cody-
Cody ended up landing incorrectly, causing him to suffer concussion and a separated shoulder.
That one's
Kane,
on-
Bryan, and Sandow all realized that having Cody continue wrestling would only make the injury worse.
Yeah,
However,
that
they
one-
couldn't cut the match short either, so they restructured the match on the fly. Only Damian, Daniel,
That,
and Kane got physically involved
is on
for
Cody.
the remainder of the match, keeping Cody
Oh,
Rhodes
man.
safe while also
Poor
celebrating the
bastard,
title
that has
wins.
to be-
Unfortunately,
oh.
things did not go this smoothly when John Moxley fought Ray Phoenix in a
Boy, I've had plenty of concussions in the ring. I know how uncomfortable that is. Haven't had a separated shoulder, but if you watch that, I mean, Cody pushed himself up. You get up on Kane's shoulders. You let Kane give your legs a flip and just go into your front tuck. Don't try and grab extra height, or you don't have enough time to finish your rotation. I'm sure
In September
Cody knows that.
2023, Ray Phoenix fought the international champion, John
Oof,
Moxley.
that was
Moxley
terrible
was supposed
looking.
to retain his title,
Terrible.
but this isn't what happened. Before the bell had even run, Phoenix hit Moxley with a senton on the outside. Unbeknownst to the referee and medical staff, John Moxley's head hit the floor
Ooh.
and gave him a concussion.
I didn't see that
even
first.
though he was injured, the
Oh.
man formerly known as Dean Ambrose
Damn.
wrestled for another 12 minutes. However, the two wrestlers decided to have Phoenix win since Moxley would have to vacate the title anyway due to his injury. The referee was not aware of the change though,
Oh, wow.
and didn't count the pin, leading to an awkward moment.
This is really interesting.
The ref got the message the second time, and Ray Phoenix ended the night with gold around his waist.
Yeah, that's the only thing. If you're going to change the ending on the fly, you kind of got to let the ref in on it. Oh, shit, that was a nasty one. Now, concussions, I could tell you my whole concussion story. I will tell you my concussion story in a separate video at some point, but I've had plenty of them. I know what it feels like. I know what it's like to work a match after having already received a concussion, although I must admit, I don't remember a lot a lot of those individual
As you've
moments.
seen, wrestlers usually go off script when someone gets hurt.
Damn.
But in this next
Ah,
match,
that
a wrestler went
hurts
off
to
script
watch.
simply to make a point. Gail Kim, in a lot of ways, was ahead of her time. She competed
Yeah.
during an era in WWE where female wrestlers were looked at more for their appearance
And
than
Gail
for their actual
could
wrestling
work.
ability.
Yeah.
Despite that, Kim was an extremely talented wrestler.
Yes, she was.
She had been unhappy with her role in WWE for about a year and finally decided she had enough. In
I
August
heard-
2011,
I
Gail
have heard from people that knew her that she was kind of edgy. Anyway, I don't know what the story is, but that Gail Kim had a real edge to her.
12 women competing in a battle royal match with the winner facing the Divas champion Kelly at SummerSlam. Within 15
I love
seconds
how
after the
they've
battle royal
improved the
started,
women's
Gail Kim
division.
rolled under the rope and eliminated herself. While Kim wasn't supposed to win, she obviously wasn't supposed to break character and remove herself from the match. Gail did this due to her frustrations with WWE and simply to make a point.
Oh.
Not surprisingly, this ended up being Gail Kim's last WWE match, and a few weeks later, she was officially let go from the company. Okay.
I mean, what did you think was going to happen in that situation? You got to figure you're getting let go because Gail Kim, I don't recall a time where she was ever a stellar star for the company. And if you're not a top guy or girl and you pull something like that, you can pretty much bet you're going to be, you're going to get your walking papers really soon.
Okay, now get ready to cry when you hear about what happened in this next clip. In 2002, 4 WWE tag teams competed in a tables, ladders, and chairs match for the World Tag Team Championship.
Okay.
2 of the participants were Chris Jericho and Bubba Ray Dudley. At one point, Jericho gave Bubba a bulldog
Oh!
off the ladder.
Oh!
However, Bubba landed incorrectly and spiked his head
Bubba
on the
st-
mat.
Oh,
He would later say was
shit!
the worst concussion of his career, and you'll soon see why.
Yeah,
the
he-
injury was so bad
he's
that
lucky
he forgot
got
what he was
up.
supposed to do next, and even how to do his own moves. Realizing his opponent needed help,
Huh?
Chris Jericho walked Bubba through the rest of the match, and they pulled it off flawlessly. It's also worth noting
Jericho
that when
is
Kim
a
was
real
climbing the
pro.
ladder to win the match, Jericho suddenly put his foot on the
Foot-
bottom
that
of
was
the
that same
ladder,
match?
just
That
to
I'd
steady
seen.
for the Big Red Machine. However, the saddest part of the story is what happened afterward. Bubba's concussion was so bad that he had forgotten that his mother had died a few months earlier.
Oh,
While he was
no.
being examined, Bubba asked when she was coming to get him. When he was told she had died, Bubba had to relive the grief that his mom wasn't with him anymore. RKO.
Oh, that's awful. I had never heard that. That's just unimaginably terrible. I've been there. I make jokes about it, but yeah, I've got lots of nights wrestling that I don't remember anything about how I got home or, anything about the night. Oh, there's a lot of them later in my career, not earlier. We rarely had videotape of it, but later in my career, some of these tapes that I'll share with you guys, clips and stuff, I only know what's on that tape. I don't have
are the 3 most dangerous
individual
words in
memory
sports
of it.
entertainment, but they're also pretty dangerous for Randy Orton too. At the Over the Limit pay-per-view in 2010, Randy Orton fought his former tag team partner, Edge. After going at it for 11 minutes, Randy began signaling for the RKO. However, as he was pounding the mat, the Viper accidentally dislocated his right shoulder. With only one
I think
broken
I'd heard
arm,
about this
Randy
one.
and Edge knew they had to abruptly end the match. Orton not so secretly told the referee to count him and Edge out, and a few moments later, this happened.
Edge going for the spear, and he speared the barricade instead.
Good
The referee,
save.
I believe, counted both men out.
Usually,
Good
wrestling
save. Oh, yeah, it sucks to have to end your match like that, but that's a couple of guys who know the business, know what to do, taking care of business. It's not good stuff he got hurt. It's good stuff the way they
get upset.
They took
and
care
have
of
to
it on
lose
the
a
fly.
match. However, in this next clip, the wrestler was supposed to win.
This is good. I like
went off
this.
script and intentionally lost the match. David Samartino was the son of
Oh,
Bruno
yeah.
Sammartino,
Well-
who had held the WWE Championship for
Bruno Sammartino is my hero. They say never meet your heroes. Bullshit. Nicest, kindest man I ever met. As far as a celebrity or athlete or anything like that. Unbelievable dude, but
4,000 days throughout the 60s.
David
and
was-
70s. Of
David
course,
was different.
Once David made his WWE debut in 1984, he had some massive shoes to fill. However, David Sammartino never achieved anywhere near the popularity of his father, partially due to how WWE utilized him. David became upset with how the company
and it
treating
was-
him,
it
so he
was on
decided to go
David,
off
too.
script during a match. In November 1985, David Sammartino was put in a match against an enhancement talent named Ron Shaw.
Yeah,
David
I
was
know
to
of this
dominate
one.
the match
I
and
think
get
we
the
might have even
win.
had a video that
However,
covered at
David
least
didn't
part
make
of
a
this,
single
or
move,
maybe not.
And instead, his
But-
opponent got all the offense in. On top of that, after wrestling for only 2 minutes, Ron Shaw put David in a bear hug
And he quit,
Sammartino
yeah.
submitted. This was the second generation wrestler's way of sticking it to WWE, and he was soon let go from the company. Now, I'm
I would question how effectively he stuck it to the WWE since he was let go right after. I don't think David thought that all the way through.
I really
he got him good.
Mark Henry in this next match. In 2015, the Intercontinental Championship was defended in an elimination chamber
Imagine
match.
thinking you got
Wade
him.
Barrett and the Intercontinental Champion Dolph Ziggler
Oh,
started the match, and
Wade
everything
Barrett was
going
good.
according to plan. Things went completely
And I
off
love
script
Dolph.
though when Wade Barrett shoved Ziggler into Mark Henry's pod, causing the plexiglass to fall off. This was not supposed to happen, but it didn't make any sense for Henry to stay inside the pod, so he had to enter the match early.
Right.
This led to some awkward moments where Mark Henry just stood around since he wasn't supposed to be in the match yet. The talent
Tough
were
to
able
call on the
improvise
fly
and
with
eventually
that
get the
situation.
match back on track. And ultimately, Mark Henry is eliminated by Sheamus. This next match really
Yeah, that's
shows
tough too because Mark Henry's a monster. Because on the fly, thinking what I would have done if something like that had happened to me, like I ever wrestled in a venue where we could have that kind of equipment to run a match. But if you had to be in there early, I would have got somebody aside and told them, hit me with something big, hit me with a super kick, hit me with a DDT, hit me with something big, and just let me sell it. You guys keep working and I'll keep selling, but that's hard to do when you're Mark Henry because you're a monster. It's not one move isn't going to keep you down that long without ruining your
the July 8th, 2002 episode of Raw
your
featured a massive
gimmick.
10-man tag team match. Kevin Nash
And your
makes
character.
his in-ring return after he got injured several weeks earlier. 8 minutes into the match, Nash got tagged. Almost immediately, he collapsed due to Nash tearing his quad.
Ugh.
The other wrestlers
Freaking
quickly realized
quads.
what was happening, and they all swarmed
Vince,
the ring to
Triple
take
H,
the focus
Nash.
off Nash. Bubba
Everybody
Ray
with
Dudley,
those
who's one of
quads.
Kevin Nash's opponents,
Never
went to
had
the
that
outside
pleasure.
to check on his
That has to
collar.
hurt.
Shawn Michaels, who was hanging out ringside, then got into the ring and quickly formatted a new finish with the Big Show. All this happened in the course of about 30 seconds on live TV, which just goes to show how talented WWE wrestlers are.
Yeah,
At Super
it
Bowl
does.
8, Booker T
does.
scheduled to
It's a testament to those guys being real pros.
the match against the
Absolutely.
WWE World TV Champion Rick Martel. About 4.5 minutes into the match, however, plans had to change. Booker T launched Martel across the ring, causing Rick's right leg to get caught by the rope. The accident injured Martel's knee, and unfortunately,
Ooh!
as part of the match
Didn't see it the first
stipulation,
time. Oh,
the
that
winner
was
had
a
to face Perry Saturn
horrible
immediately.
angle.
Rick Martel was in no condition to wrestle a second match, so the script was flipped, and Booker won the match and the championship. However, this meant that Booker T and Perry Saturn had to wrestle an entire match without a script
any
and
prep.
no time to talk it over. Despite that, both
They both came from the indies. You do that all the time. You go back to your roots.
athletes showed off their talent by calling the entire
Excuse me.
match on the fly,
Yep.
which Booker T
Had to do
also
that
won. Unfortunately,
many times.
this next match did not have a happy ending. During the 2019 Mae Young Classic, Rhea Ripley and Tegan Nox fought in the quarterfinals. Nox was meant to beat Rhea and go on to
See, I don't
compete in the
remember this one
finals of
either.
the tournament, but that sadly didn't happen. Less than a minute after the match started, Nox hit Rhea Ripley with a suicide dive on the outside. However, Nox's
looked
left
clean.
knee collided with the steel ramp, causing her to injure.
Oh, okay.
Instantly, Tegan Nox knew
Okay,
she was
didn't
in
catch
trouble.
that.
The match was briefly stopped, but Nox was given the clear to continue. However, about a minute later, Rhea Ripley hit Tegan Nox with a dropkick, which forced the referee to throw out the infamous X and call off the match.
Yeah.
She's done. She's done.
Now, to
Wow.
hear what was said to Tegan Nox after she
Good on her for trying to power through. I mean, holy shit.
got backstage, watch the video on screen.
Oh man, that's rough. I hate seeing that. Man or woman. For me at least, it's just my sentiments. It's even tougher when it's women getting hurt like that. But to see somebody in that much pain, oof, man. There was, I know this was the theming here is going off script during matches, and yet that had just some of the hardest cringe moments of anything we've seen so far. I hate seeing that shit.